Whether you're trying to save money, get ready for Lent, or both, this video is for you. I'm preparing 3 meatless meals that are budget friendly and taste delicious. They are great for the entire family, and I am certain you're going to want to add them to your list of meals that you rotate week after week after week. So join me even if you don't have that much cooking experience. Hello, if you're new to my channel, I'm Ina Cecilia with The Little Way. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you want more content like this, where I offer women, especially Catholic wives and mothers, some encouragement through homemaking, through style, through all sorts of topics that I think pertain to women today. If you get anything out of this video that you enjoy, please like this video and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. I've had a lot of viewers tell me that they miss my cooking videos, and I also miss making them. I got a lot of viewers who were mostly interested in my style videos, so I focused on that. And you'll notice that in this shot, you'll see a rack of garments. I mean, you can kind of just see the garments poking out, but that's because I have shared recently that I have exciting news. Very soon you'll see my online store of gently priced goods that I find lots of linen items, silk items, so many amazing purchases, things that you'll want to wear to mass, to your everyday life. I have feminine blouses, feminine dresses, skirts, sweaters, lots of things, especially for those of you who don't have what you consider a good thrift store nearby. But anyway, back to my cooking. I make really simple meals. I'm just a regular mom. I enjoy cooking. I make a lot of mistakes, but I know that many of you are just like me. You want to try new things, or you want to start cooking from scratch more, or you want to save money because you're feeding lots of mouths and you're trying to figure out what is the best way to do that without having to buy all those convenience foods, all the processed foods, just going to the freezer aisle and getting, whatever it is that's there, because we know that that can really add up and ultimately it's really not good for you. So I wanted to share 3 recipes, and they're not anything that is particularly inventive. They're just things that I think are easy and you probably have the ingredients at home. This first thing that I'm making, you probably already guessed, it looks like I was putting together some pizza dough, which I was. I'm making a Stromboli. So the Stromboli is like a pizza, but you kind of fold it together and you can braid it or just fold it up, and you can fill it with whatever you would want to fill or put as pizza toppings. While my dough was rising, I decided to peel this potato because the other meal I'm making is pierogi. Pierogis I had never heard of before. I don't know if it's pierogi or pierogis. Leave me a comment. I'm really particular about those kinds of things because I know not all cultures use an S at the end for plural. But they, from what I've gathered, are Polish dumplings. They are sort of like empanadas or some sort of flour casing that goes over. Traditionally, it's potato and cheese, but I've seen lots of really unique fillings that go into it. So you can add soy chorizo, you can add fish, you can even make them sweet. So I'm just making the basic dough for that right now. I peel my potatoes because I'm making my filling. So I peel the potatoes and I was boiling them. And here it's just flour, salt, and water. You don't even have a leavening agent because you have to fold them up and you boil them. The difference between this and pasta is it didn't have eggs or the oil. So now I've cooked down my potatoes and I'm mashing them up. I decided to add some Monterey Jack cheese because that's what I had on hand. To add a little bit of vegetable, I added some spinach, some frozen spinach. I always have that in my freezer. Can you leave me a comment what you like to keep in your freezer on hand so that you are never without? And then I added some garlic powder, which made it so good because it basically all tasted like garlic, cheesy mashed potatoes, but then you put them inside the pierogi shell, the pierogi dough, and then I added a little bit of milk and butter just to make it creamier. It was so good. I could have just eaten it with a spoon. And that's my goal with these videos, is to show that you don't have to be this perfect cook. You can find a recipe today, get all the ingredients, and just make something new all of a sudden that you never thought you would make. or you can just use what you have on hand. So maybe you don't have Monterey Jack cheese like me or spinach, you have kale, or you want to use peas and carrots and you have cheddar cheese, then go for it. I think that you know what your family enjoys and you know what you like to eat. So feel free to experiment and try new things, because you may discover things that you didn't realize your family will love and want you to cook all the time. All right, now my dough has risen for my Stromboli. So I took it out so that I could roll it out and pop that in the oven because my family had it for lunch. It was a big hit. There was nothing left over. The one thing I would recommend is with the Stromboli, I prefer pizza because I just like one little thin layer of crust. This felt a little, for some reason, even if you cut a smaller slice, it's hard not to just cut a big slice off because it looks so good. But I recommend that you cut off a little sliver. It didn't feel as filling to me. It filled up my belly, but I didn't feel super satiated the way I often do with pizza. Okay, so here you'll notice that I am cutting little slits on either side of my dough because that's where I'm going to do some sort of braiding. I'm going to put my pasta sauce in the center, and I'm just using basic marinara. I think I got this at Aldi. No big deal. If you want to use homemade, use homemade. If you don't have time, whatever. This is one hack that I have. I added my garlic powder to add that little bit of seasoning, and I have some grilled onions that I'm adding as well, so it's meatless. The cheese that was sliced was the best deal per ounce. And it was really easy to just lay these cheese slices down. I do like shredded cheese. I don't mind just sprinkle it over. I think it's fun. It's my inner child. But I thought it was such a time saver, and it was much neater. Sometimes I'm cleaning up a bunch of remnants of little shredded cheese, and I don't know about you, but the frugal part of me is thinking, oh, what a waste. I bet if I added up all these together and put them back in the bag, it would just be, sometimes they're not salvageable, but I think I would be able to, not have to throw all these away. So it was nice because with these slices, it was just so simple and easy. It's definitely way more kid friendly. So if you have children who love to help in the kitchen, which most children do, who doesn't, then it's a really easy job for them. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you'll notice here, I just do a little twisty pull over it, nothing fancy. It does look fun, and it does look like I put a lot of effort into it, but it really did not take much at all. I didn't overthink it. Now, with the price of eggs, I could not use an egg wash over it, which I normally would. So I did a melted butter, garlicky brush over it just to add that extra flavor and a tiny bit more color. It wasn't my preference, but I'm just trying to use what I have. I cannot wait for egg prices to go down. I have a lot of egg substitute recipes. Let me know in the comments if you want me to share some of those egg substitute recipes. But I do miss eggs, and there's lots of things that I would do with it. So here's the final product on my very loved old baking cookie sheet. It's been through a lot, and it's still going strong. Lots of meals made with love have been made on this thing. I'm going to pause for a brief second to tell you that it is that time of year. Lent is coming up, and I have written a free ebook, 47 Days of Fiat, a Lenten guide for wives in preparation for Easter. And even if you're not a wife, I think it will be good. You'll enjoy it. It's very simple, very gentle. You read one page a day, and it's the perfect amount for you to get ready for Lent. So I'll leave that link in the description box below. All right, back to my pierogi. I decided to do this the next day because I ran out of time, and so I kept the filling, and my dough was still good. So I just rolled it out, and you'll see here that I use a mason jar lid. You can use a cookie cutter. You can use a glass, whatever you have on hand to make the shapes. You can even cut it with a knife, however you choose. And what I love about this recipe is it's so forgiving because no one cared what the shape was at the end. I ended up boiling them first, and then I popped them in the air fryer so that they would turn a crisp golden brown and they would be crunchy. They are hot on the inside, just like anything else that you would put in the air fryer. So you'll want to be careful with that. But I think that was perfect to boil them first so it cooks, it part cooks, if you will. I don't know what the term is, but it cooks for the most part, so you're not eating raw dough, and then to pop it in the air fryer. Now, you can try to only pop them in the air fryer, but I really like the texture. I have made certain things that are meant to be deep fried or boiled first and then just pop them in the air fryer. Like I think I did pot stickers, and it really wasn't the same. So this worked out to boil and then air fry them. And this is what one looked like. You can see it's very imperfect. Sorry, it's like a little bit blurry trying to get it focused. They didn't end up having the filling pop out, so you don't have to worry about that. And I made some vegetables to go with it. It was the perfect lunch. My family enjoyed every single one, gobbled them up, so I highly recommend. Now, I had seen a video before that used Kipper snacks, which is a type of fish. I had never used it before, never heard of it. I heard it was very frugal. Cost per ounce, and compared to the taste of tuna or salmon, I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite, but if you have it, if everything else is out, if you just want to try something new, then I recommend making what I call a Kipper casserole. So here I just emptied out the kippers, juice and all. It got really messy. So of course, make sure you wash your hands. I did wash my hands between shots. But I emptied it out, and with a fork, I just tried to separate it. It didn't have any bones that I know of. Like other fish have really sharp bones. I just put in with the skin and everything, and my family did not mind that. And something that I did different is instead of using cream of mushroom or cream of chicken or some sauce that I normally would when I make my tuna casserole or something of that nature, I had this homestyle clam chowder, and I decided to use that as the sauce because I was really craving that clam chowder taste, and I wanted those clams in between. So it was such a good sauce. I think it paired well with this. Now, if you think this is all too fishy, totally get it. You can always substitute with different things, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it's good to look at your pantry and what soups do you have instead of having to go to the store and get cream of mushroom or cream of chicken or what have you. I still had some of this leftover potato, garlicky spinach filling that I used for my pierogi, so I decided to add that in because why not? We try not to waste anything, and the flavors married really well together. My husband noticed one potato, but no one else said anything. So I just think it would have just gone in the refrigerator because it was such a small serving that someone would have forgotten about it, and then we would have had to throw it away. So I was really glad to just have it be a use what you have meal, and it fed my entire family of 6. The dish was empty by the time we were done with supper. So I consider that a win, and as I have already said, if you want to substitute it with something else, you can. My point of these videos is to just show that we're just doing our best. And if you're feeding your family with love, if you are getting ready for Lent and you're telling God, this is not perfect, but I am offering this up to you, Lord, then that's all that matters, right? Here it is, that cheesy goodness. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, coming soon, you'll have access to my Marian Vintage Feminine Modest Kindly Priced collection. Lots of goodies in there of all sizes. You'll see dresses and skirts and all sorts of things that I think you'll enjoy wearing, especially as Easter's coming around. And registration is open. Our Mary and Elizabeth community is thriving. You won't want to miss it. Hanging out with like-minded Catholic women. I hope to see you there. Thank you and God bless.